Howdy everybody, it's me, Manic Mark, coming to you from the bunker system. Today I'm coming to you with a redo of Manic Mark's sex painting. Ooh, it was pretty horrible, I must admit. But I think it's much better now. I've captured, there it is on the screen, I've captured the essence of human sexual stuff between human beings. There, anyway, how to celebrate that painting today is to do a reading from What's in It for Me by Jerome Weedman. Curiously enough, the book is, you know how people write their names on books so they know whose book it is? Ward and Shirley Meyer, Cincinnati, Ohio. Ward and Shirley. One person signed both he and his wife's name, I assume. Oh, Shirley, I found your book. Jesus Christ, what the hell are you doing with your time? Look at the cover there. What's in it for me? So I'm going to use this book to illustrate the human condition, sexual condition. What's in it for me? 1950. Chapter 1. I paid off the taxi driver and walked briskly into the Montevideo. And my watch said 1:45. Time enough, Charlie called to me as I hurried past the desk toward the elevator. Oh, Mr. Bergen. I shook my head quickly and spoke over my shoulder. No time now, I'm in a hurry. Your mother called and said you should... I stopped short and swung around sharply. You put that call through to my apartment? He looked frightened at once and began to massage his chin. No, sir, you told me not to, Mr. Bogan, so all right, but remember that. I don't want that call going through except when I'm in to take it myself, you hear? Oh, yes, sir, I won't forget, Mr. Bogan, I only wanted to. Okay, you tell me tomorrow. The elevator door is closed. Man, I'm clogged up today. Okay, what the hell? Get to the meat. Get to the meat of the sexual sex stuff. She was lying on her back in a snarl of covers and pillows. Her thick black hair tumbled forward on her face like a screen, and a few wisps of it rose and fell with her breathing. Who's that? She mumbled without opening her eyes. Harry? Who'd you expect? I snapped. The fleet? She yanked the top of her pajamas down to her waist and smacked herself erect against the head of the bed. She was no Phi Beta Kappa, but she'd been circulating long enough to be able to read voices. I don't care much for your choice of words, Mr. Bogan, she said in a low voice. I'd watch my language if I were you. You can call me Harry. When you sober up a little, it may come back to you. But we've been formally introduced. I'm not bragging about it, she snapped. What do you want? I asked sarcastically. An apology? It might help, she rasped. Well, it isn't going to help you, Martha. You've been living with me long enough to learn that I don't apologize to anybody for anything. Don't worry, she sneered. I've learned more than that. Since I know you. She bit her lip and reached for a cigarette on the night table. Got a match, she said. I tossed her the book of matches. Suddenly she kicked a pillow out of bed and banged her hand on the night table. I don't know what you've got to yell about, she cried. At least I'm working, but what the hell are you doing? Oh, you mean that off-key yodel you do every night at the Smile Out Loud in the last act? I said. There's so much goddamn noise on the stage that they can't hear you anyway. This is better than the last book. I'm getting into this. Maybe they don't hear me, she said, but I get $75 a week for it. I stopped fussing with the papers and the books on the dresser. Anytime you want to go back to living on that salary and freelancing for the difference, I said coldly, just say the word. I can always get someone to keep the bed warm for me. I followed the shot with my eye just long enough to make sure it was a direct hit. When she spoke, there was a new note in her voice. I know. What's the matter, Harry? If she did, she was smarter than I thought. But it didn't matter. At least she was beginning to understand that things were a trifle screwed up. Well, if it's a secret, don't let me pry into your private affairs. I'm a bashful guy anyway. She let the dig ride and shook her head seriously. These 3 months of loafing, she said, that's what it is. I'm on page 5. This book's not bad. Since you were pulled out of your dress business, you haven't been doing anything. It's beginning to do things to your nerves. That's all. My nerves are all right, I said, but my ass hurts. I got a pain there from the way you can't seem to learn even that if money does grow on trees, there are times when the season is bad and the harvest is weak. Well, you can, she began angrily, but stopped before the crack passed her lips. She took another stab at the needle. What the hell? But if you get back into the swing again, Harry, you'll be a new man. I'm sure of it, Harry. Thanks for the advice, Martha. You don't know how much I appreciate it. I grinned as I threw a string around the bundle of books and papers and drew at Taunt. She seemed to notice for the first time. What is all the piling and wrapping and tying? What are you doing? Don't worry so much about it. I got a couple of irons in the fire. Blah, 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 blah. I want to find out what's in it for me. It's got to be in this book somewhere. This video won't last forever. And you're all clogged up, and you can hardly breathe. Full of dust and crap. These lines, performance. Brooklyn smirk. A moment. Harry, she cried. What in the... You imagine that? I said, I shot into the bedroom and started flinging papers around. I get halfway to the Bronx, remember, forgot my checkbook. Do you beat that? I got a flock of bills to pay. I don't care. Nobody cares about that. That's money going out. That's not what's in it for him. Somewhere at the end of the book, what's in it for me has to be there. Chapter 25. This is the leg. Let it lay in bed. Don't stand. Don't. So it doesn't hurt you. What the hell? What's wrong with his leg? That's not going to help him. Neat old days. I'm winning this to the end now. We both laughed. This is it. Harry, we're here. The sobs made her voice sound wide and unreal, as though it were coming from the wrong end of the megaphone. Suddenly, I hunched forward over the mouthpiece. I pressed the receiver against my ear until it hurt. Ruthie, I screamed. Ruthie, what? The sobs choked her off. Then there was a man's voice on the phone. Harry, it was Murray's voice, very serious, very calm. You've got to take this like a... The hand holding the receiver dropped down to my side. From somewhere against my thigh, his low, steady, sorry voice came buzzing up slowly, then sharply. Hello? 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 I replaced the receiver on the hook and carefully went out of the store. I started to walk quickly up Broad Street to the station, and halfway up the block I stopped. I couldn't go back to New York. There was Nisam and Yazda buy-in? And the cops? There must have been something skipping ahead. I turned and began to hurry back to the hotel. Halfway down the block, I stopped again. I didn't have enough money to sleep there, and she might have told Nisam that I was at the Ben Franklin. I couldn't go back. I couldn't stay here. I looked around quickly. I was back in the front of the drugstore again. 2 young kids in cheap polo coats were standing outside the door smoking cigarettes. They looked at me, then down at my feet, and then they leaned their heads together and began to whisper. They were admiring my shoes. I crumpled the telegram into a ball and threw it into the gutter. How could a thing like this happen to me? The goddamn little bitch. I should have known better than to trust her. I should have. I looked up and down the dark, empty street. The kids were gone. Was I all alone? What the hell does a guy do now? Apparently, there was nothing in it for him. What? Never mind. It doesn't matter. That's the end of the story. There was nothing in it. There's never anything in it. Thanks for stopping by to check out the state of sexual evolution in our society.